Hello and welcome to Hot Indonesia, your mental oasis in the global desert. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Here is this week's HI Hot List. Sinking ships. Does the government's destruction of illegal fishing boats make sense? Women's work. Is the vice president's proposal to cut female workers' hours for childcare fair? And Selfie Nation, why Indonesia is credited with popularizing those self-portraits everyone takes. Okay, Sarah Zalpat, the other member of the weekly triumvirate, is Yeni Wahid, director of the Wahid Institute, daughter of the fourth president of Indonesia, and astrological supporter and fan.
Yes.
Yes, she is. And our guest host this week...
Spider lover as well.
Spider lover, I want to hear that. Our guest host this week is William Pohl, property developer. In fact, he's putting up a building next to ours called the Noble House, and professional skier. You really were a professional?
Well, I just like skiing a
Okay,
lot.
all right, I just said that. Hot topic number one, sinking ships. To fight illegal fishing in Indonesian waters, the government said earlier this month that it would seize and destroy foreign ships caught without papers. On December 5th, 3 Vietnamese vessels were burned and sunk off Riau in line with international law. Authorities hope violators get the point. You know, no country has officially protested so far through diplomatic channels as far as I know.
Yeah.
But you can bet that they will think about doing the same to Indonesian ships when they come fishing in their waters.
Australia does. I mean, Australia has the same rules that apply to anyone doing illegal activities in the waters.
But have they burned Indonesian ships? Not yet.
Because I don't think we've ever caught, Indonesian ships have ever managed to trespass into the waters. I mean, they get caught in the first place before even, catching the fish in this first place. But in Indonesia, I mean, we've got all these illegal operations for years.
This is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, you
Oh,
can
yeah,
imagine how many
absolutely.
illegal vessels are everywhere in the world. But what do you think, William? Was the government just trying to make a point or make an example, and they won't do it again? I mean, what was your reaction when you heard about it?
Yeah, I think from what I know, I think Indonesia loses about $3 to $4 billion each year on illegal fishing, and we know we are an archipelago.
24 actually.
More than that. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that is just a figure that I gather up without me being a professional in the industry. But we are an archipelago countries, so the sea is is where we are, and we have to defend that. And I think whether it is important or not important, we destroy a ship, but I think we make a point. We make a point throughout the world that we take illegal fishing seriously.
Yeah. So it was a visual message. I mean, they made sure the media was there,
Right.
and everyone covered it. But practically and environmentally speaking, it's kind of a waste.
I don't think so.
Perfectly good
If you're
ships,
sending,
man.
Well, if you're sending a strong message, if you're trying to send a message, then you want to do it in a way that will catch the attention of people that you're sending the message to. And if you just confiscate the ships, like what we've done so far,
Right.
I mean, the fact that more ships were coming, shows that those steps were not necessarily effective.
I think I agree with Dalton. I think this is the beginning of the tip of the iceberg. I think there's a lot more homework that we as a country should do in reforming our fishing industries.
And that's what the new fisheries minister is doing, Suzy
Right.
Pujastuti. She's laying down the law.
Right, so we have got to invest a lot more in our boats and our patrol system, maybe a helicopter, not just shipping. We have got to invest in the new standard operating procedures in monitoring the seas.
Yeah, it shouldn't get to this point where we have to burn ships. It should be stopped a lot earlier, and that's what
Right.
you're saying, right?
Right.
When I first heard about this, I thought the crew members are on there, they're sinking these guys and they're swimming. I mean, they were seized and taken off in detention long before.
And there were procedures that were taken to comply with the law. For example, I mean, there's a quick court that's also happened, happen on the side, and the people on board were taken to the police custody, and then
I heard that the catch that they were found with was sold and the money used to feed the illegal crew.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
You can't keep fish for too long because.
And they had a lot of fish.
Yes.
Shouldn't this be resolved even before enforcement? Shouldn't this be resolved diplomatically? I mean, and not by physical destruction.
I mean, under SBY's, former Minister of Maritime Affairs said that he tried to do that. I mean, he said that what Jokowi does is not unprecedented because it happened before during SBY's era. But the former minister said that SBY told him not to do it anymore because he was afraid, Westboro was afraid that he's going to create a diplomatic brouhaha. But, it happened before. And so they chose diplomatic route. And again, we still have all these illegal catching activities.
Why hasn't there been any diplomatic outcry, I wonder? I mean, you would protect your nationals' property
because it's illegal. What they were doing is illegal,
Right. Well, I believe Indonesia came to the Asian, the ASEAN for addressing the issue of illegal fishing, but I think there hasn't been done too much on what we requested. Well, I think illegal fishing issues is not just merely an illegal fishing. I think the issue is much more complex than that. I think the arrangement of the corruptions on the lowest level, perhaps. I'm not sure about it, but yeah, I think a bilateral agreement between countries and the necessary action needs to be taken and agreed upon all these countries has to come into an agreement. So it's not just bilateral, maybe trilateral or multilateral agreement that make this proposition of cutting down the illegal fishing seriously.
Yeah, nobody's going to defend their guys doing something illegal, so nobody's going to raise a cry, right?
Yeah.
So you both are cool with the sinking of the ships?
Yes,
Yes.
as
No
long
problem.
as there's no human casualty.
Yeah, but what
Right.
about environment? I want to go a quick thing about the environment. I guess they're not going to do like 100 ships because that would really create a mess.
Right.
But just these 3 were kind of the example, right? The
Yes.
symbol.
And smallish, instead of smallish.
Yeah, they're small
But there's
ships.
one issue that they need to address, which is the state apparatus backing of these illegal fish in the first place. I mean, it's not a secret anymore,
Right.
they could operate because they got backing from
Right.
I see. So it got the
some
attention.
invisible hands.
The invisible hands.
It got the public's attention, hopefully the government's attention. Okay, Hot Indo will continue shortly. Shorter work hours for women. What about us men?
Indonesia opens up my heart. Unforgettable. Love is just the start. Indonesia touches my soul. Keeps my heart always warm from the cold. A very beautiful place. And a friendly smile. Heaven is this place on earth, wonderful Indonesia. Full of love, surprises of love. All your dreams will all come true in Indonesia. I like Indonesia. You will always be in my heart. I love Indonesia. You give dreams a place to start. Go, Indonesia. Go, Indonesia. Go, Indonesia. Go, Indonesia.
The Indonesia Channel for the world to see. Indo Cinema on the Indonesia Channel.
Exhale, reaching down to triangle pose. And exhale takes you down into flying monkey. It shifts forward and then start to fly. Come follow me on my travels every week on the Indonesia Channel.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia Channel. The Best of Bali, only on the Indonesia Channel. Passion for Fashion, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You're watching Hot Indonesia with Yenny, me, and guest host William Pohl. Here's hot topic number 2, women's work. It's a proposal raised by Vice President Yusuf Kala. Cut 2 hours off the work schedule of female civil servants so they can head home to take care of the kids. Now, on first thought, not a bad sounding idea, but activists say this is discriminatory and sexist, hurting incomes and reinforcing stereotypes that only women can be good parents. Yeah, what's he thinking? I want to go home to take care of my daughter.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
wanna
the
go
vice
home,
president is a well-meaning man, but sometimes he doesn't think things through before he talks.
When he proposed that, the sex industry thingy and Puncak, for the widows of Puncak,
They can
to
take
engage-
temporary wives. Yeah, that's a whole other
Yeah, for
thing.
the-
But this one,
it comes
you
from
know,
the same man, so.
Yenny, I'm sure you know what we're talking about. Women already make less money in the
Less
workplace
money?
than their male counterparts. Promotion long been a problem. So they cut their hours and whatever will not improve their economic status, which is the main point of this game is to earning parity and helping your family by making money.
If you have enough money by not working, then why would you want to work? I mean, if your husband can fight you, I think women would rather stay at home. I mean, I would,
Right.
spend more time with my kid. Of course, it's a priority for most parents, not just women.
But a lot of working parents also are good parents and they can take care of their kids
Absolutely,
fine. It's not that
absolutely.
you can't be
Yeah.
both, right?
I think that's what bothers most people is the stereotyping bit. The fact that, women's fear is to nurture the kids and leave the father out. And the father can just go out and
Yeah, it
not
distances
putting
them
his
further,
bit into the process. It's
Right. Well, I mean, the way I look at it is more of the mathematical point of view. I think we, as Indonesia, I think we are at less than $4,000
Annual
income per capita, and I think as a country we look to increase, the income per capita. So, women workforce consists of about 51% of the whole nation's working environment. So I think cutting down on these hours, as a matter of fact, will reflect on the cost of the private sectors. 51% is a lot. So cutting down those hours, in terms, reflects on the productivity.
Yeah, well, he's not referring to private sector. He's only talking about the government workers. So I
Right.
mean, that's
But
the
still,
individual.
the same thing when it comes to productivity. It really doesn't matter whether you work in the private sector or in the government. When you're being productive, you ought to be productive in both sectors anyway. I mean, imagine if there are more women serving the nations in government sector, and you cut down the service, for 2 hours each day, and for a silly reason like that, and.
Well, I mean, the silly reason, it's a good reason to take care of your kids, but
It
this
is a
is
good-
not the way to
yes.
do it. Yeah, that's what you're saying. But you know what's scary? There was the government reaction. Other ministers kind of agreed. One said that this would be a wise thing to do. But you know what? Not every working mom in government is asking for this, right? They're not clamoring to go home to. They need to earn money. And not every stay-at-home parent is a good parent. Not every stay-at-home mom is a good mom.
Unless you got an affirmative action that says the government will still hire women despite the lower number
Short
of
hours, yeah.
Yes, then yes,
Right.
we'd be more than happy. If there's again another affirmative action that says that women can still earn the same amount of money as men despite the
See, that's
shorter-
a larger issue. That's the larger issue.
shorter
I
work
mean,
hours, then it's great. Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah.
But if by working shorter hours, then you got salary cut, and then you're not going to be hired anymore because companies or not companies.
Yeah, they want people to work the
because-
full shift.
Yes.
Right. Even without cutting the hours, I think women workforce are facing a lot of problems. With the leaves that the company has to endure, or the
Maternity
vacancy,
leave.
the maternity leave. So I think that would put quite a lot of pressure in terms of women in general, being segregated. So I think it can be a quite dangerous proposition.
Yeah, I mean, in the private sector, I mean, you lived abroad as well. This kind of proposal would not pass gender equality laws in many countries. You cannot discriminate against men in this way, correct?
It is a discrimination against men. It's putting the shift on, again, on child's nurturing activities onto the women.
I mean,
It's
you
not
have
fair
enough
for the- for
problems.
the-
I mean, you take care of three
got-
kids.
yes,
And
I
your
know.
husband helps you, right? He helps when he
does,
can, even though he's a
yes.
full-time parliament member.
Not anymore.
What?
Not anymore.
He's not?
He's not.
He left okay, I want to hear about this. We talk about this later.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so he has more time to help you now.
Yeah, well, he concentrates. He's developing his business, but doesn't matter. I mean, he's always the type to put in the hours also anyway in taking care of the kids. So I have no complaint in that. I mean, I'm more busy than him. But again, I mean, most women, they'd be more than happy if the husband can just put in just 1 hour. You don't have to cut down on the number of hours that women spend with their kids.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to cut the woman's hour if the husband
hours,
participated a little bit more.
Yes,
I
exactly.
mean, when you have children, you want to spend quality time with your children.
Of course,
yeah?
we equally do. I mean, not only the wife, but we men do like to spend more quality time with the family.
Yeah, because we remember, our parents and the time we spend with them. The solution to this is part of a bigger picture. I mean, you have to have better, for example, childcare facilities in the
Childcare
office.
facility,
In the
absolutely,
offices. It should be
absolutely.
mandated, maybe, perhaps.
It helps
Right.
a lot. You saw me bringing my kids around.
You did,
taking me,
and then we were
bringing them
taping,
along
and I think
anywhere.
one's under the table here right now, maybe.
Yeah, even in our properties that we develop, I think we instill childcare. I think we don't see many childcare in the offices.
Oh, you have some rooms specifically
Right.
for childcare?
We have a childcare of about 400 to 500 square meters
Oh, that's good.
in our buildings.
Nursery
And
room.
We have a nursery room,
anymore, now.
and we have got a sleeping area for the kids. In case they wait for their mother.
As long as their parents don't use it.
Right.
I love
I'd
naps.
probably use that
Yeah.
more than the kids if I
Right.
were.
Okay, so childcare facilities in the office, and
Yeah.
when you do have your quality time with your kids, spend quality time at home, and overall better parenting. Better parenting solves that problem. I mean,
Yes, I think when the parents when the kids see their parents working, and instill the values right from the young age of being hardworking, being smart, being able to manage their life well. I think this can be a pretty good fundamental.
Of course, it's a role model. It's time management.
I like the thing that the policy that Susie, the minister, is implementing in her office without any all the fanfare.
What she do?
What she does is that she is not increasing, but she starts early. She mandates for her guys.
Right.
She starts
So
early.
flex time.
And then,
Flex time. She starts or leaves earlier.
yes, and leaves
Right.
earlier. And I think it's much better policy when it comes to.
I think
See,
so.
you can do that without this kind of proposal from our well-meaning grandfather, Jeka. Okay, more Hot Indo is coming up. Why we are the world's most narcissistic nation. Indonesia's first 24-hour English TV channel is here, with an exciting mix of programming to inform and entertain viewers around the world. The Indonesia channel offers something for everyone, from world-class lifestyle shows like Yoga Bliss to the hottest music hits and artists on iPop. News and information are an important part of the Indonesia channel, with Today's Indonesia and ASEAN Today providing what you need to know. International hosts such as Lorraine Hahn, Jamie Aditya, Caitlin Turner, and Dalton Tanonaka are among the faces you'll see. Movies, dramas, travel, and more are all on the Indonesia channel for the world to see.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Hahn, and this is Executive Golf. Good shot.
Executive Golf, only on the Indonesia Channel.
iPop is your guide for Indonesian music videos and Indonesian artists. Want to see Indonesian artists? Watch iPop playlist.
Passion for Fashion, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You're watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Here's hot topic number 3, Selfie Nation. You can't escape it. A minute doesn't go by before someone in your group asks for a posed photo. If you're alone, it's a selfie. For a group, the Wi-Fi. Now, the selfie stick was invented because of all this popularity, locally called the tongsis. Time magazine says its popularity is all because of us, because of Indonesia. They credit the popularity of this extending thing to take. You know, I don't get it. Why do people here? What do they do with all the photos they take? There's not enough memory in Facebook and Instagram to put all these photos, or is there?
They do.
That's
They
scary.
do. They post it on
Every
on
photo
Twitter
taken in
and-
Indonesia on a
yes.
single day
Not
must
just
overload the
not just of themselves, but of the food they take as well. That they eat. They're going to
food,
eat as well.
of their feet on the beach. I mean, who
yes.
cares?
Yes.
Well,
Well, they do. Their friends do.
Do you think their friends do? You care if your friend shows you their toes on the beach and I'm here in Kuta? I mean, not really.
And they make all these comments. Oh, you're in Kuta, like you, blah blah blah.
We survived before all this stuff, right? I mean, is it technology driving this taking of photos, or it's just that we love ourselves more? We become an overly narcissistic society.
The technology enables us to express our
So we
love
had
for
it in us
ourselves
before
in a
the
more
technology, and
robust
now that
way.
we have it, we let it out. That's scary.
Right. Yeah. I think the way I see it is quite interesting on Indonesia market. I think we are the highest selling smartphones in one of the highest selling in the
Among
world.
there, yeah, America sells more, but per
Right.
capita maybe, yeah. Okay.
Right. So and yet our literacy rate is actually
very good
still
point.
not up to the point where
A
we
picture
want.
says 1,000 words.
Right, and yet people are using internet facilities and all these facilities to connect them to the world.
And they may not be able to even write properly, but they can
Right.
connect.
So I think Indonesia is ready to connect to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Indonesia is ready to cross the barrier of social fabrics.
Well, we know how to use technology, but I question the use of all this selfie stuff, okay?
It's actually quite useful, you know, when
Like what? How?
Well, if I needed to go to a party and I wanted to make sure that I look good, I take a picture of myself with a tongsis.
Okay.
With a selfie stick.
Yeah.
And so I could see it, you know.
How about looking in
instead
a
of-
mirror?
Yeah, but sometimes I do that also.
That's what I do.
but you know, sometimes it doesn't give you the clearer picture of.
Is that
you
it?
know.
How did you do it before
Which-
the
And then
tongsis?
you can make the before the tongsis. Life doesn't exist before the tongsis.
Yeah, right. You say, honey, how do I look? That's enough for me.
I think I should
Fashionable life doesn't exist before then.
I should get one of that after this.
You know, I never bought one. I never
I've
want
got
to get
one.
one, but somebody got rich inventing this selfie stick. Right? I mean, I really.
It's good. It's good. It's harmless, I think, in my opinion.
Okay, well, you know, presidents, athletes, pop stars, they all do selfies, but really, aren't the only ones, it's only really interesting to the person who took the selfie,
It's only interesting for the person
who took the selfie. I mean, nobody else
Oh, yeah,
cares about a
yeah.
selfie except the person who took it.
But you know, in a way, it saves time, especially for me. I might get pictures. People asking for pictures. You know, whenever I go domestically. So
You don't want to bother somebody, you tell them, you just take a selfie.
They do. They take a selfie with me.
Oh,
Instead
okay.
of bothering
Right.
people and then waiting for okay we pose and I just take and they say oh can I take a picture with you okay selfie so while walking I said selfie click selfie selfie selfie.
It
It's
happened to
easy.
us when we were on the color run, remember?
Right,
A couple weeks ago,
exactly,
people took
exactly,
selfies
yes,
with us all the time.
yes.
Well, mainly they wanted you.
No, you.
Can we, you don't have a tongsis, you have a tongsis?
I have a tongsis.
You do? You bought one?
I didn't buy one. It's a gift from my husband.
Because your hands are full with the kids, you want to be able to take it yourself. All right. Do I get one? I don't know. Okay, it's
We'll
feedback
get
time
you
now.
one.
Can you?
Yeah, Yeah, of
They're not
course.
expensive, right?
No.
I will never
everyone.
use it.
Of course not. You haven't used your iPhone yet.
Yeah, I don't want to show my phone. It is feedback time. Please let us know if you like what
Phone
you're.
shows your age, you know.
No, it doesn't. It says
It
I believe in
does.
the technology of America. Okay. Here's a Facebook posting from Senadi on our recent hot topic of raising Jakarta's minimum wage. It's unnecessary because no country can fight market forces of supply and demand of labor. Well, that's one viewpoint, Senadi. Thanks for posting. If you have any feedback on what you've heard or would like to suggest a topic for us to tackle, please email us at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment through our Indonesia Channel Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram pages. Final words, William.
Well, I think we as a country are ready to move forward. So let's unite and make Indonesia into a stronger country. Thank you.
Merdeka, simple and sweet. All right, final words, Yenny.
Well, Dalton sort of teased me for believing in astrology. But I think, astrology can be fun. And it's
That's
really
the word,
harmless.
fun.
It's fun and harmless, and when the right words could give you a moral boost, and also could set you on the right tone for the day. It can be encouraging and encourage you to be more positive in your outlook for life. That day or that week or in that month. And for me, I found that there are many incidents in which I found that it totally coincides with what my astrology site says. So, I believe in my astrology.
Okay. I got to tell you a quick story. I went to a fortune teller and she said, "Your mother's dead." And I said, "No." That was a downer. Okay. And my final words. It always amuses me to see cashiers in stores in headscarves with Santa's hats on top and Christmas trees in malls. Now, that the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ has become a secular, commercial event is common around the world. But here in Indonesia, it's another example that, of course, despite heightened security measures, for the most part, we all get along. We all get along. It's a good thing. Now, that is Hot Indonesia for this week. For Yenny and William, I'm Dalton Tanwaka. See you next time.